Hey, what's up, guys? It's C-Stacks here with the first, what is hopefully the first of many Genesis format gameplay videos with commentary that I'm going to be bringing you guys, especially as we get closer to YCS Columbus here in a few months and we get ready for that. So, this is a match that was recorded at a Tuesday night Genesis locals this last week. It's actually the night before our Genesis celebration event. So we were all kind of testing for the Genesis celebration, and this is pre-March point update. It's before the March point update. So that's probably particularly relevant in this match here because we are going to watch a Cool Tune match here. This is my brother Ethan actually on the right playing Cool Tune, and I can't remember the name of the player on the left, so I do apologize for that, but he's on a really, really cool deck here that utilizes the Primite cards and some of my favorite cards, the Umi cards. So shout out to this guy on the left who's newer to our locals, said he's getting back into the game after kind of a hiatus. So really cool to see people getting back into the game via the Genesis format. So we're going to start off here with the Trap Tantalizing Tune, a really cool draw spell that hasn't seen a whole lot of play in advanced format. It's going to let him discard a normal trap card to attempt to draw 2 cards, pitching what looks to be the Primite Howl. Now, I'm not super familiar with the Primite cards, particularly the trap cards. Obviously, I know the Primite Roar, special summon a normal monster. Here comes the Ether Barrel, which I believe is going to attempt to set a Primite spell or trap from deck. Thinking here on the Ether Barrel effect, so it's going to decide not to respond. So Ether Barrel is going to set a Primite spell or trap from deck. So here comes the Lordly Load, the only Primite card that is actually pointed in Genesis format. This is a 33-point card. It's the only card in the engine that is pointed. So I imagine we're probably only on one of this as part of our Primite package. So flipping it up on activation to attempt to add a Primite card from deck to hand. And here comes the Drill Beam. Again, 0 points. Yeah, they're just discussing the point distribution here. Now, Lordly Load has a second effect to attempt to summon a normal monster from deck. Oh, it looks like first we're going to use the second effect of Ether Barrel. I thought that this would have been a hard once, but it looks like each effect is a once. So attributing to send a normal monster from deck. Looks like it's a guard. Is it Guard Dragon Justicia? Is that the name of it? It's the level 2 normal monster tuner. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to try to special summon a normal monster from our deck, declaring the Phantasm Spiral Dragon. Oh, and the Ghost Ogre to stop the special summon of the normal monster from the deck is actually extremely powerful. So that must have been the hand trap that Ethan was thinking about earlier a couple times that he decided against. And holding it for the Lordly Load is really strong. So we have another follow-up play here, the Fish Sonar, a really cool card that I love. This is an Umi support card. So to search the deck for a card that, or a monster that mentions Umi, I believe. So we're going to get the Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin. It has an optional second effect to special summon a normal monster from your deck, but that it's only if you control a face-up Umi, which at the moment he doesn't. So this Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin is a very powerful card. It lets you search once per turn for an Umi card, and it is a floodgate. But it is a level 5 monster, and he has no way to put it on the board, it seems. So we're just going to set 3 and pass. Pretty unfortunate opener there. That well-timed Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to put an end to the Lordly Load was really powerful. All right, starting off with a really cool starter from the Cool Tune deck here. This is Synchro Overtake, which he's going to explain here to his opponent, who hasn't been playing much lately. But this is a really cool card that's seen playing Cool Tune right now. It's obviously meant to be played with, the Synchron cards has Road Synchron featured on the artwork, but he's going to reveal a Synchro monster from his extra deck and then summon, or I think it just searches the to your hand. Oh, I guess it does summon. So it's going to search a material that's specifically listed on there. It's very similar to a card like Fusion Deployment. Explaining the gimmick of the Cool Tune monsters. If you're unfamiliar, they are all tuners. You can use another tuner monster in your hand as material with them. It's very strange kind of archetype though, where they're all tuners that are synchroing with other tuners into more tuners. It's really interesting when you look at a Cool Tune monster that says two tuners as material. So we're going mix on summon to search for a cool tune other than a level 2, which is going to get us directly into our queue. And mix is named specifically by name on remix, which is how we were able to get that from the Synchro Overtake. So we're going to go Q to summon any tuner from deck. Really cool card summoned here, which is the Red Nova, which can summon I believe, a Fire Fiend when it's used as Synchro material. So we're going to get a couple of triggers here. Q is going to get an effect when they're uses material. Basically, all the cool tunes, when they're used as synchro material, they get to do an effect. So Q is going to get to look at the top two cards of the opponent's deck, I think, and banish one and put the other on top two, or the other on top or bottom. And then we're also going to get another little nice piece of extension from the Red Nova here. So we got a Paleozoic card, I couldn't tell which one that was, and another Ether Barrel. Looks like a Canadia. Canadia's Book of Moon, right? And we're going to put the Canadian on top. We're deciding that a trap card, Book of Moon, is slow enough that we're fine that with that being the draw for turn. We'd rather it be that than a playmaker. All right, so here goes. We've searched the JJ Cool Tune, I believe, with the track maker that we synchro summon. Searches for a Cool Tune card on activation, and then here comes the Rico to let us search again. Right, so learning as we go here. It's always cool to see. Sometimes when you're playing against a deck that you haven't seen before, it's good to just take a moment to kind of figure out what the gimmicks are, what the strategy is. All the cool tunes are tuners. They can synchro summon with guys in your hand, and they get an additional effect when they're material. So here comes Clip, the quick effect synchro from your hand. So this is a card that recently went up in the point update. As I said, though, this is pre-point update. Lots of material here. We have, I know we have the JJ Cool Tune in hand. Synchroing with the track maker and a guy in our hand. Here is Loudness War, which is 0 attack right now, but once we commit the JJ Cool Tune onto the field, I believe it would be 3,300 or 3,000, something like that. So we're getting 2 triggers here from the Synchro Summon, I believe. The Track Maker will get to bounce a card. And I don't think we actually got to trigger, I think it was Mix that was used as the other material on our hand here, and we already triggered the Mix this turn. Or not Mix, whichever one is the one that lets us look at the top card of the deck. I think we already did. Attempting to just play the field spell and enter battle, and whoa, okay, here comes the Nibiru at the end of main. So that's pretty devastating. It's funny enough, I think Ethan mentioned right before this, like right before we started the tournament, that he was kind of hoping he might get nibbed tonight because he wanted to show off this new token that he made, and then immediately after saying that, he gets Nibiru'd in the the first game of the very next match. So just taking a second to calculate the stats here. Funny enough, the Nibiru token only looks at stats or the original attack and defense, so that's Loudness War has 0 original attack, so it's actually kind of a small nib token. Not that it usually matters, but you never know. So there's the Masked Hero Darklaw Nibiru token that Ethan was excited to use, and I'm sure he's very excited that he got to use it. We're gonna get our additional normal summon with the Juke Joint, our JJ Cool Tune. We're gonna get our additional normal summon. We're gonna summon Clip, and then here comes the Quick Play Cool Tune Synchro. Now a 10-point card, 0 points at the time. Sorry about that. At the time of recording here, this is going to allow us to search for a cool tune and then immediately perform a synchro summon. And this is a hard twice per turn, which is really interesting that there are a couple of those in this archetype. It says you can use two cool tune synchros per turn. So adding what I think was a Rico and then immediately synchro summoning into an RS, which so it must have been a Rico because I think RS is the one who requires RS to synchro summon, and then we're gonna target and pop a set card with the Rico as the graveyard effect when it uses material. And then RS is sort of a once per turn negate. And then now Clip, I think this is Clip happening here. When Clip is used as synchro material, we're going to hit a card out of our opponent's extra deck. So that's what we're resolving right now to banish card from the opponent's extra deck. So there goes Paleozoic Anomalocaris. So there are it's kind of a sub strategy of the Paleozoics in this Umi Primite deck. Just a really interesting control strategy. Hopefully, we'll get to see it uh, kind of go off next game, maybe. Now, looks like we're not going to be able to go for game, obviously, with the nib and all that. So we're probably just going to run over this Nibiru and pass over to our opponent soon. So we'll get the Umi player is going to get another chance to make something happen here. Running over the token with the RS. Thinking here in main 2. Yes, JJ Cooltoon will let him continue to play if he wants, but he is going to have to tribute his RS. So tributing a Cooltoon monster to, I think, summon either a Cooltoon or a Tuner. Either way, it's going to be. This looks like Mix. Now, all their effects are once per turn, but the effect to synchro with a monster in your hand is a condition. It doesn't activate. It's not an effect. It's just sort of a condition that they all have. Primite Howl happening from the graveyard here to banish and take control of an opponent's monster because there's a normal monster in grave. To take control of Mix, which is going to keep Ethan off a synchro summon, hopefully, which is pretty rough here, especially because he had to tribute the RS in order to do that. Probably would have just been good to stick with the RS, but The mix does return back to Ethan here at the end phase. Now it is the Umi player's turn. An attempt to go Ether Barrel. And we're going to chain the Cool Tune Synchro to add a card and then immediately perform a Synchro Summon. So maybe we're going into another RS here, or we're going to go into... Isn't there one that lets you quick Synchro on your opponent's turn? Is that Remix? It looks like that probably is what we're going to have to do because we don't have access to Rico. So we're going to probably use Mix and Q to make a Remix. Yep, Mix Q going to Remix, who is gaining 1500 because there is a tuner in the opponent's graveyard. That Guard Dragon is a tuner that we dumped on turn 1. So just explaining the effect here. Basically, it's going to let him... First Q is going to happen here. We're going to look at the top 2, banish 1, put the other on top, and then Remix at some point this turn will let us, quick effect, return, get back 2 tuners from grave, and then immediately Synchro Summon with them. So Trap Tantalizing Tune seems to have a small graveyard effect here that just lets you banish it to put back a banished trap card into your deck. Not a whole... Nothing crazy there. And then here comes Ether Barrel again. Attempting to set a Primite card. And we're going to chain the Remix here. So Chain Link 2 is going to be Remix, resolving to add... You target 2, I believe, either Cool Tunes or Tuners. You never know which one, in your graveyard. 1 summons, 1 goes to your hand, and then you immediately Synchro. So we're gonna get back 2 Cool Tunes and then immediately turn them into an RS, which is the target negation. So we'll resolve our Ether Barrel, and then these Cool Tune tuners are going to activate in the graveyard on a new chain because they were used as material. Nice. So this is pop 2 here. So we've summoned a targeted negate, and our graveyard effects are going to allow us to pop 2 cards, 1 monster and 1 spell or trap. Really strong here. Being able to synchro summon like this on your opponent's turn and trigger all your Cool Tune effects is really, really powerful. So easy to see why Cool Tune is one of the most popular decks in the Genesys format. It's just going to keep getting better, even though it did just get some points added on to its engine. It's definitely not unplayable by any means, and with the new support on the horizon, which I'm not super familiar with, but it's given them a huge boost in OCG, even in advanced format. So we destroyed the Ether Barrel, and a Sea Stealth Attack was one of the set cards. So just going to set a few more cards and pass over to Ethan. And then if we can just push through this back row a little bit, he's going to go Canadia here at the beginning of the turn to book down. I don't know why you would do this, because he can just immediately flip it back up unless he's aiming for something right here. Yeah, we just... So I think that was just a misplay here. As Ethan's just trying to put together lethal. If you maybe waited for the battle phase or something, or after he committed a monster to the board, you could have maybe like baited out the negate with the Canadia, and then made some other kind of counterplay. But we just shotgunned it, and I think that was just we just weren't thinking about how the RAS wasn't summoned this turn, so it can easily just change its battle position right back. Yeah, so I think what we were trying to do is use the Canadia to bait out the negate so that we could force through our Primite Howl, which I guess is going to try to summon normal monster from deck, and then you don't take any battle damage from battles involving it or something like that. But we still have not used our RS negate. I think RS can maybe only negate in the main phase, and we're in the battle phase now. Ooh, and here comes the drill beam. I forgot about this. We did see the drill beam get searched earlier, and now that there is a normal monster in rotation, the drill beam can banish the RS. And I think maybe drill beam has some kind of can't be responded to, or no, maybe it's because we're in the battle phase, like we said. I believe RS can only negate in the main phase. The quick effect target negate is only in the main phase, so that drill beam is going to be really powerful against RS in the battle phase here. So we're going to go main phase 2, try to put together some kind of a follow-up here. Looks like we're going Q to revive our red Nova from the graveyard. Equal to Q being able to summon a tuner from hand, deck, or grave. Really strong card. Using the Howl to take control again. Not being able to try to keep Ethan off a synchro summon here. So we're just going to use the JJ Cool tune to allow us to tribute and summon a tuner from deck. You could hear the opponent here say, "Oh, you don't have to have a cool tune for that." Nope. Very strong card. So we're trying to keep him off a cool tune to keep him off plays, but unfortunately the JJ Cool tune is very strong, and you can just tribute, I guess, whatever. You can tribute a tuner to add or special summon a cool tune. And of course, the red Nova is a tuner. So that's going to allow us to get going again. Rico into mix. Then we're going to synchro with the Q in hand. So we are destroying the Spiral Dragon, banishing a Trap Tantalizing Tune, and putting a Paleozoic card on the bottom. And we are in main phase 2 because the drill beam happened in the battle phase. So we are putting together hopefully enough of a board to be able to just pass to our opponent and wrap this game one up. Synchroing with the Ghost Mourner in hand into a Loudness War. So we have a quick effect synchro, and then what does Loudness War do? Yes, so he's saying that he can, when it activates effect, he can banish Cool Tune to copy its graveyard effect, which is really, really neat. So a couple of points of interaction here. So we're going to chain the the remix to bring back 2 and then synchro. Into the third copy of RS. We've gone through all 3 of our RS in this game. Here comes another Ether Barrel. Can the lonely Ether Barrel manage it? And we're just going to stop the Ether Barrel right in its tracks. We're just going to negate it. It's just a target face-up card, negate it for the turn, I believe. Attempting to reset the drill beam, so we have 1 piece of removal, but facing down a pretty good Cool Tune board here. We've tried to grind Ethan out of as many resources as possible, but Okay, so we're gonna just have to swing over the little guy here. All right, so now all Ethan has to worry about here is that drill beam. Straight to battle phase. No, no, no. RS is gating 300 for each tuner in the graveyards, which is a lot in Ethan's, and the guard dragon Justitia as well. Yeah, it's 71, and they are untargetable. Drill beam is gonna be activated here. And again, we cannot RS negate. I wonder if maybe he could have tried to do something in the main phase to attempt to... Oh, we cannot activate... Oh, we can! Okay, so he needs a high-level Primate monster in order to activate this Drill Beam, or a normal monster. But the Primite Etherbell is actually big enough because it's being level modulated by, I believe the RS is the one that changes the levels of opponent's monsters. Very funny. Just trying to calculate how much the RS is dealing here, plus the Nibiru token, and deciding that it is in fact good enough. So we're gonna head into game two. Very long game one. It looked, pretty one-sided for most of it. Unfortunately, the Umi deck, the Umi Primite deck, was never really to get much going off the ground, but they were able to trade enough with Cool Tune to kind of, he forced him to go through all three RSs. The turn one Nibiru was pretty strong, and unfortunately, just not able to stick like a big monster on the board to start pushing in or anything like that. So hopefully we'll see more of what this Umi Primite deck is capable of this next game. He's going to have the ability to go first again. I'm seeing an awful lot of trap cards in this deck. So seeing a lot of trap cards, a lot of the Paleozoics. There's Umi stuff in there. There's Pacifist stuff in there with the Pacifist city and all this stuff. So it seems like a really, really cool control style deck that I think probably has a lot of potential in Genesys format. If I say this a lot when people ask me, "Oh, is X pet deck viable right now?" Blah blah blah. Because I have a lot of friends who play a lot of different card games, and they know that like I'm the Yu-Gi-Oh guy. They'll always ask me if their favorite deck or pet deck or archetype or whatever is viable, and I say it all the time. If there was a place to try it, Genesys format would be the place to try it. So if a deck like Umi, Primite, Pacifist Control is going to be viable, then Genesys format is definitely the place to try it. So, all right, here we go. Heading into game two. All right, very simple opening turn. Set 4, pass. Still no early access to Umi or anything like that. Gonna go mix, attempting to search for something that's not a level 2. And again, we're just gonna shotgun this Canadia. Shotgunning it here's probably fine. I maybe would have just waited for resolution, but by keeping the Cool Tune monster face down, we can't synchro summon with cards in our hand, and that is good enough for a set 1 pass. And then here comes the Sea Stealth attack on activation. This is going to get to activate an Umi. So then we are finally going to get to go see Pacifis. So it also has a couple of additional effects. One lets you kind of tag out your water monsters for a turn, and the other, I believe, protects your spells and traps from destruction. And then attempting to chain Canadia to summon from grave. We're not going to activate Umi. We're only using this to summon Canadia. That's interesting. I thought we were going to activate Pacifist, the Pacifist city from our deck, which is always treated as Umi. It looks like we just wanted the monster so that we could normal summon our Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin. Yes, you can only each player can only control one non-water monster. And at the moment, the one face down monster is Ethan's one non-water. Okay, ooh. So we're going to declare the effect to search. It's going to be met with a Ghost Ogre, which will obviously lead to Kyriushin resolving, but being destroyed. And okay, so we are playing the Pacifist, so I'm still kind of confused why we didn't activate it directly from our deck when we had the chance with the Sea Stealth attack. Okay, and we're gonna chain the Cosmic Cyclone, not even allowing it to be activated. So we just pass back over to Ethan, who's going to activate Duelist Genesys, allowing him to add a Synchro Spell Trap, which of course is going to add the Cool Tune Synchro. Another cool Synchro support card seeing play here, and I hesitate to say like in a way that it wasn't intended, but obviously Duelist Genesys wasn't really, that's not really what they had in mind, right? You're supposed to be searching some, I don't know, some really shitty Synchron support card, I don't know. It has Stardust Dragon on the artwork. It's called Duelist Genesys. But really good use for it here. All right, so we're going to Synchro using the Red Nova in our hand. Okay, so Chainlink 3 is going to be the cue to banish the Pacifists from the top of the deck, putting Kyriushin on the bottom. We're going to add I believe, a Cool Tune Spell Trap with the Track Maker. That's going to be the Juke Joint. And then we're going to special summon a Fire Fiend from our deck, which is, of course, going to be our Rico. Rico's the Fire Fiend, right? Yeah, trying to get all their names and stuffs down. So just have to play through these last few back row that we don't know. It looks like there are no more cards left in the hand here on the left. But here comes Ice Dragon's Prison, pretty strong. I don't know that it's necessarily enough here. Ethan has quite a few resources, including the JJ Cool Tune still in his hand, which is going to give him an additional normal summon, a way to get an additional resource out of his deck. So removing the Track Maker here is pretty good. But we are going to hit a card out of the extra deck here. It is the Sky Cavalry Centuria. Shout out to the Sprite players, shout out to the Melfi players, shout out to the Baby Raccoon players. And here comes RS. We're going to pop the back row with, I think it's Rico that pops back row. $35. Let's see how much we can push for game here. Curious what that set monster is. Probably like a ghost girl or something to set. Oh no, it's not. That's whatever got booked by the Canadian last turn, right? For some reason I was thinking, yeah, there it is. It's the mix. For some reason I was thinking like he just bricked and ended up setting a monster, but that is not what happened. It was Canadian. Yep, pushing for game. All right, very cool. So unfortunately, we didn't really get to see this Umi deck pop off, and I think it seems like a really interesting deck. Unfortunately, we didn't have a very explosive hand this second game. Just set 4 pass. Looks like a lot of just a lot of purple cards in the opener, but cool tune here with a pretty strong showing. Show you why it's one of the most popular decks in Genesys format, where it basically just never ran out of resources. Anyway, so that's gonna be it for this video, and we'll see you in the next round.